So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to use Claude Code for businesses. Now, I see a lot of business owners pretty much hop on a new tool as fast as possible because they feel like they're quote unquote missing out. But the thing you need to understand is in order to use these tools, it needs to have two goals. It's either saving you money or it's either making you money. And of course, I run a business. We have two physical locations, one in Houston, one in Dallas at the time of recording this video. And we serve over 200 plus clients. So for something like Claude Code and actually implementing this into the business, it needed to serve a purpose. Because if it does not serve a purpose, I do not want to use the tool for fun, but it does serve a purpose. And I follow a specific framework, which I want to share with you as well. So you can actually go into these tools tactically and not just waste time for no reason. So the first thing you need to do is identify, map your manual work department by department, walk every department week by week, map the manual's task, what gets done by hand, score by impact, time save, multiply by frequency, and pick the top three. Start small and ship fast. So this is something you need to do pretty much by department, like what's the manual work and what workflows could make your life easier. So, and I'll give you some examples as well. So for example, let's say in our sales team, I wanted an agent that reviews the call immediately and sends feedback to my sales rep immediately. Now, theoretically, I could build this in a tool like Zapier or some sort of automation tool. But I didn't want to do that because then I would have to go around, connect all the tools and then update it on a weekly basis if it's not performing well. I wanted to use Claude Code for it because at this point I already understand how to use it. And I actually have it opened up over here. Let me just pull this up for you guys right now. So it's actually right over here. So this is the exact agent. I have, of course, cleared out the chat. So just so we can pretty much hide all personal information. How this was built. And by the way, if you're curious about the setup, this is built on VS Code. And then you can just add a Claude application into it. You can just download Claude Code inside of it. It might look complicated at first. You might go like, oh, it's too complicated. It's really not. Once you actually just sit down for 2 hours and focus on it, you'll understand exactly how it works. And this is just a folder inside of an Explorer. So inside of that folder, I added all of my calls, all of my team calls, and I gave it as much information it needed for the company. Because if you still don't know this, AI is built on data and context. You need to understand how to provide the data it needs to give you the outcome you need. And also, what prompt do you actually tell it or give it so it can give you the precise outcome you're looking for as well. So there's multiple variables that you need to be pretty much wary about when it comes to, of course, using AI. So once I've, of course, uploaded all of the calls, I also made a file called env example. And if you don't know what env is, it's just all of the tools that's needed for me to make that automation and all the applications that need to be connected to Claude Code. I need the API key of those specific softwares. Now, this is extremely simple. So let's say one of the softwares we use is called Fathom for note taking. Whenever I join a call, it's kind of like a note taker that joins one of those calls. I just need to go to Fathom and I need to find out where the API keys are in the settings. It's usually not that hard. And another thing, it's a very pro tip I want to give you is always have this side by side. So this is regular Claude and this is Claude Code. You can have these talk to each other. So you start ideally over here and you tell the setup you have and you start over here. So you can literally have a conversation with it, be like, hey, so I want to build a automation tool for my sales team that reviews all the calls and sends it directly to Slack, which is the place my team communicates, so they can have some real-time feedback. And I want to use Claude Code, and my setup is either Claude Code on VS Code, or you can literally just, just use Claude Code by itself as well, like over here somewhere, I think. So extremely important. From there, as soon as it gives you a prompt to put in here, you literally just open this up, put a prompt here, or it's going to tell you exactly what you need to get yourself prepared. You just need to follow instructions. The thing that is super underrated when it comes to using AI is the ability to follow simple instructions. Because if you cannot follow simple instructions, you're just going to struggle using AI. So it is a skill that just has to be built and it has to be pretty much achieved. And it's going to serve you very well. So as soon as this was built and as soon as all the applications were connected, it just did everything for me. It was working in the background while I was doing something else. And all I had to do was just kind of look into it every once in a while just to approve it. Because once it's built, it's just going to be extremely simple to improve it as well. Because there's multiple components to it when it comes to building a tool or a system like what I just made, which is one, you of course need to get it working. Of course, after it's getting working, it's not going to be perfect right off the bat because the first initial 20, 50 calls with reviews. It was all right feedback. And then from there, I improved it even more. I gave it even more feedback. I gave it even more things to pretty much look into so it can provide more accurate information to my sales team directly. And that part was extremely simple because now I just had to come into a chat, something like this, and started typing instead of messing around with Zapier, so seeing what's going on. And if anything falls apart even, I just have to go back here and tell it what to do. That is it. I don't have to like just, like, okay, what went wrong? Let me check the error logs. No, none of that. I just have to come here. It's going to tell me precisely what I need to do, or it'll just do it for me. So that's how simple it makes it. But very important that you identify and actually write down the things you need before you even mess around with Claude Code in the first place, or like a tool like Claude Code. And then from there, of course, we just talked about this, like build, like create custom tools, one workflow at a time. Depending on what your needs are, you can literally build custom tools using Claude Code. You can have some automations in place which you weren't even know were possible. And it all starts with the conversation with over here. And then from there, you can use the actual Claude Code to execute on this properly. So super important that you actually understand the workflow between these two and not just hop onto Claude Code, start talking to it. That is something theoretically you could do, but I imagine you'd be a beginner, of course, trying to understand how to make the most out of this. So that is kind of like just my 2 cents on how to properly use Claude Code and actually get the most out of it as a business owner specifically. Because if you're just using Claude Code to, just build kind of like a fitness application, then you're just wasting time in my opinion. Because the 2 goals that you need to worry about is how can it save you more time and how can it make you more money? Because in my experience, for example, the call agent, which is only one of the tools we've made a lot of things with using Claude Code, but just with that review agent, it gives immediate feedback to my team and they read every single feedback they get, which allows them to close more deals because they know how to help customers better now. So we are fulfilling the goal of making more cash. And also simultaneously, when I was building this tool, it also saved me more time. So super important. And if you do have any questions at all, like about how we use it, just drop it down in the comments below. And I'm super happy to help you out. And by the way, if you do own a business and you need something, maybe like this implemented, but if you need help with content or ads, that is something we're extremely good at. There's a Calendly link in the description. We can pretty much help you automate that sort of things because content and ads is something, one of those things that if you decide to do on your own, that's the only thing you're going to be doing. And you're good at what you do. You can, of course, hire us to actually take over the content and ads part for you. All right, I'll see you in the next one.